The submersible passed the thermocline, and the water changed from cathedral blue to bruised twilight.
Beside her, Petrov adjusted the ballast trim, his movements automated by years of deep water habit.
Outside, organic matter traced unseen currents. The surface light faded to memory below them.
The abyss held the MV Kronos, which sank 23 years ago with 312 gold bars. The recovery vessel Pelagios held position above the wreck site with centimeter-perfect GPS accuracy.
Chen checked their depth. The descent felt different, weighted by the magnitude of what lay below.
The wreck sat upright on a silty plateau, remarkably intact despite the violence of its sinking. The hull had split, the bridge imploded, but the forward hold with its vault remained strong.
At 1,200 meters, a deep Steria enigmatica jellyfish 2 meters across drifted past, its bioluminescence triggered by their lights.
They fell through layers of invisible geography, passing through marine snow as dense as fog.
Chen monitored the cameras and the manipulator arm, capable of threading a needle or moving boulders.
They carried a prototype recovery cage, representing $8 million and 2 years of engineering.
The Kronos materialized from the darkness like a photograph developing in reverse. It looked smaller than expected, the brain struggling for scale in a sunless world. They guided the sub toward the split in the hull, an opening marked during their mapping dives. Chen deployed the recovery cage. It settled on the deck, a tool of precision in a place of ruin. The first bar lay half-buried. Chen maneuvered the manipulator arm with careful precision. The claw closed. Sensors reported the weight. She lifted slowly, the arm's servos humming.
She rotated the submersible, bringing the bar to the waiting cage, a slow dance in the dark.
The first bar settled into the cage. The recovery of the Kronos treasure had officially begun.
They worked systematically. Each bar required approach, precision, and slow transport to the cage. The sixth bar was trapped beneath a collapsed beam. Chen calculated the angles, the risk of collapse.
The bar slid free. The beam settled with a sound they felt more than heard, a deep, structural sigh. With the cage loaded, they withdrew from the hold, beginning the ascent to release altitude.
Chen triggered the release. The cage detached, beginning its 97-minute journey to the surface.
They descended again. A routine was born in the darkness, a rhythm of collection and release.
The second collection went faster. Muscle memory developed for movements their muscles weren't making.
Some bars required excavation, careful uncovering of treasure that had waited for decades. Others lay in neat rows, having fallen together, their story preserved in their perfect alignment. An impact. A six-gill shark, a scavenger of the abyss.
It circled once with languid curiosity, a reminder they were not alone in the deep, then disappeared.
The 15th bar showed a dent, a permanent scar from the Kronos' final, catastrophic moments.
The cage reached capacity. They ascended again, their second load ready for its journey upward.
The pattern established itself over hours. Descend, collect, ascend, release. A mechanical heartbeat. After 11 hours, their bodies protested the endless micro-movements and static tension.
Reversed their descent. The deep blue softened, giving way to the memory of sky.
At 70 meters, The shadow of the Pelagios loomed above them, their metal island in the sea.
They surfaced to a gray afternoon, the sun hidden behind endless stratocumulus clouds.
The recovery crane swung over, a practiced ballet of heavy machinery on a moving deck. The submersible was lifted from the sea, water streaming from its curves, and settled onto the cradle.
Chen and Petrov climbed out, their bodies stiff, into the organized chaos of the recovery deck.
Chen moved to the recovery station, where the fruits of their dive were about to be revealed.
The cage touched the deck with a sound of finality. Inside, 24 gold bars waited.
Protocol was precise. Document, photograph, clean, weigh, secure. Every step observed and recorded.
The bar was placed in the cleaning station, ready to have the deep ocean washed from its surface.
Chen felt her stomach drop. She moved to the next bar, her mind rejecting what she was seeing.
It felt too light. She had it cleaned. The water revealed the same truth. Gray beneath gold.
Lead cores.
Gold-plated lead, not solid gold bars.
The magnitude of the deception settled over them.
Chen stood at the rail, watching the next cage surface, its contents now known to be a lie.
Someone, in the chain between banks and ship, had executed a perfect substitution. The real gold was gone.
The Pelagios would continue. The contract specified retrieval of all bars, regardless of composition.
The water jets stripped away sediment, and with it, the golden facade. Truth beneath appearance.
Sunset backlit the scene, making the bars glow as if they were everything they pretended to be.
Chen realized she was smiling. They'd recovered the lost gold bars. Every single one of them.
The fact they weren't gold seemed almost beside the point. They had completed the mission.
The ocean kept no illusions. Down in the darkness, gold and lead performed identically.
Only here, under open sky with human eyes and expectations, did the weight of the deception matter.
She turned from the rail. They had 283 bars still to recover. The work continued.
They would work through the night, rotating crews, bringing bars from darkness into light.
The submersible descended into darkness again, reaching down toward the wreck and the waiting truth. Dawn found them already working. The rhythm was now tinged with a new, bitter awareness.
They moved faster now, the initial shock replaced by a detached, mechanical efficiency.
Each bar was weighed and logged. The numbers told the story of the heist in cold, hard data. Petrov navigated deeper into the corpse of the Kronos, where the most tightly packed bars were stored.
They found a near-intact stack, preserved as if waiting for this moment of ironic discovery.
The arm lifted the bar. The official seals, symbols of absolute trust, were stamped onto worthless lead.
They cleared the stack in minutes, filling another cage with beautiful, fraudulent ingots.
The first insurance adjusters were notified. Chen's voice was steady, explaining the inexplicable.
Yes, we have confirmed the insurance details.
Documentation became paramount. Every bar, every flaw was evidence in the coming legal storm.
Among the bars, ghosts lingered, reminders of the 16 crew who sank with this empty treasure. Life went on in the abyss, oblivious to human concepts of value deception, or recovery. Another cage ascended. The winch pulled the lie toward the light, over and over again.
The pile of lead grew on the deck, a monument to audacity and shattered assumptions. Fatigue bred error. A bar slipped, a tiny rebellion against the endless, repetitive task.
Through the night, the Pelagios blazed with light, a factory processing the ocean's cruel joke.
The crew's mood shifted to gallows humor. They were the punchline, but they were also the ones succeeding.
The weather system tightened their spiral. Time, their constant enemy, now pressed with new urgency. The ocean's mood changed. Gentle swells grew into rolling hills of black water. Below, currents strengthened, challenging the submersible's thrusters, blurring their view with silt.
Recover the cage and ascend. We're pitting bottom operations.
Chen gave the order. They would retrieve the last loaded cage and retreat from the worsening sea.
They ascended, leaving the remainder of the false treasure waiting in the gathering undersea storm.
The deck became a treacherous stage. Men fought wind and water to secure the final load of the day.
The captain and Chen weighed the risk.
14 hours of weather delay versus pushing on.
They would ride it out. Operation suspended. The ocean had imposed its will, for now. The storm raged, testing the ship and the resolve of everyone aboard. They were pinned, waiting.
Dawn brought a bruised calm. The storm had moved on, leaving a weary sea and a tight window.
The crew moved with frantic purpose. They had lost time. Every minute of stable weather counted.
The submersible Dove, its descent a race against the next predicted front, still days away.
The storm's currents had reshaped the grave. The wreck looked different, as if it had turned in its sleep.
They began again, clearing the storm's sediment to uncover more of the 20-year-old secret. They worked with desperate speed, the rhythm of descent and ascent compressed, fueled by the ticking clock. Petrov pushed through fatigue, his body a machine part in the larger mechanism of recovery.
Some bars had migrated deep into the ship's guts, requiring delicate, time-consuming maneuvers. Chen, a young East Asian man, worked the arm with surgeon's patience, extracting the bar millimeter by millimeter. On deck, the processing line never stopped. The hiss of water stripping away illusion was constant.
For the new crew, the disappointment was fresh. The grand adventure had this hollow core.
The veterans had made peace. The ocean always had the last laugh. This was just a memorable one.
It settled into the cage. 312 bars. Their journey from darkness was almost complete.
They ascended, leaving the Kronos to its endless night. Their business with the wreck was finished.
They surfaced at dusk. The entire crew gathered, a silent vigil for the end of the long operation.
Chen retrieved the final bar herself. She held it, feeling its cold, dishonest weight one last time.
She had it cleaned. The gold fled like a coward, revealing the honest, worthless metal beneath.
She placed it on the pile. 312 bars. A fortune that wasn't. A mission that was.
The crew looked at what they had done. They had conquered depth, pressure, and time for a mountain of lead.
Chen looked at the stars. The con was perfect. But so was their recovery. There was a strange beauty in that.
The ocean kept its deepest secrets, and sometimes it revealed truths that were heavier than gold.
Below, The wreck was empty. The waiting was done. The weight, finally, had been lifted.
With the recovery complete, the Pelagios turned for port, carrying its peculiar, disappointing cargo.
Chen packed, the data chip in her hand feeling heavier than any of the lead bars on deck.
She remembered why she started. For discovery. For unlocking the secrets the ocean held close. This mission had revealed a different kind of secret. One about human nature, not oceanography.
Petrov stood beside her. No words were needed. They had shared the pressure, the discovery, the letdown.
Chen smiled. This was real. This had history. Its value was in its truth, not in a stamped seal.
In port, the bars were offloaded. Their new home was a evidence locker, not a bank vault.
Chen watched the final bar vanish. Her part in the story, the physical part, was now complete.
The men in suits arrived. The world of claims, liability, and legal discovery was about to begin.
In the city, gold was everywhere. In windows, in advertisements, a symbol of desire and trust.
She laughed quietly. All that desire and what it was based on was so easily faked, so readily believed.
The news headlines were vague. Historic recovery operation concludes. The truth was buried in footnotes.
The story was about the engineering triumph. The lead core of the tale was omitted, as it had been before.
Flying home, she looked down at the ocean's veil. Below, in the dark, the wreck was just a wreck again. She held her piece of the wreck. It was a touchstone, a real thing from an unreal situation.
Home. She placed the paperweight among her other treasures. It belonged here, among true things.
The world intruded via email. Years of litigation loomed. She was a witness to a fact, not a crime.
She closed the legal world. She opened a map of a new mystery. The ocean always offered another.
She had given the student and herself a better story. One not about loss, but about a shift in understanding. In her own time, she dove for the joy of it. No mission, no pressure, just the pure sensation of immersion.
Here, life was abundant, honest in its struggle. Value was in existence, not in abstract assigned worth.
How's the North Sea?
Cold. Are you being careful with the shiny things?
Always, old friend. Take care.
You too.
The connection remained. They were part of a small club who knew the weight of that particular waiting.
News came that the legal battle had ended with a financial settlement. Money changing hands, far from the sea.
She turned back to her maps. The past was a closed ledger. The future was still uncharted, still deep.
In the dream, she would touch one, and it would dissolve, leaving only clear, dark, honest water.
She would wake, not with a start, but with a calm clarity. The dream was a release, not a haunting.
Today's dive held no promise of treasure, only the promise of the unknown, which was treasure enough.
She descended again into the blue twilight, a place that felt more like home than anywhere on the surface.
Her lights found a wall of alien life. This was the real gold. She breathed a sigh not of disappointment, but of awe. This was worth the dive. This was the point.
She took a sample, not to possess, but to understand. A gesture of curiosity, not conquest.
She ascended, carrying a piece of the real world with her. The weight felt good. It felt true.
Breaking the surface, the sun was warm on her face. The ocean had given her a better story after all.
Chen looked ahead, not with the hunger for hidden treasure, but with a quieter, deeper curiosity.
Life, patient and oblivious, reclaimed the space where the great deception had waited for so long. For a fleeting moment, light found the empty hold.
The logs were for science now. Documentation of life, of geology, of currents. A cleaner kind of truth. She filed it away. The mechanics of the con mattered less than the sheer fact of its existence.
A year on, she faced one of the bars again, this time under museum lights, labeled as an artifact of fraud.
The caption was blunt. The bar was no longer treasure or salvage. It was a teaching tool, a cautionary tale.